It's an international game of intrigue that the United States would prefer not to be playing. Where is Edward Snowden? The former security contractor has been in hiding since he blew the lid off U.S. surveillance programs. Reports on the weekend put Snowden in Moscow, headed for Cuba. But when the plane arrived in Havana today without him, the mystery heightened and further angered American officials. Senior Washington correspondent Neil MacDonald has the latest.
Edward Snowden had arranged to leave Moscow's airport for Cuba this morning, but when the plane took off, his reserved seat was empty, and Snowden presumably was in the hands of the Russians.
They are on notice with respect to our desires.
The Secretary of State accused Snowden of hypocrisy.
I wonder if Mr. Snowden chose China and Russia as assistants in his flight from justice because they're such powerful bastions of internet freedom.
I think that the public is owed an explanation.
Snowden's real offense, of course, has been exposing his own government's hypocrisy, such as this testimony by the Director of National Intelligence last March.
Does the NSA collect any type of data at all on millions or hundreds of millions of Americans?
No, sir.
The world now knows different. It also knows, thanks to Snowden, that the American government spies on most internet traffic, that the British spied on G20 diplomats 4 years ago, and that the National Security Agency has hacked Chinese computers, even as America complains about Chinese hacking. Small wonder, then, that China allowed Snowden to depart Hong Kong for Moscow on the weekend, leaving the White House fuming.
Well, this was a deliberate choice by the government to release a fugitive despite a valid arrest warrant, and that decision unquestionably has a negative impact on the U.S.-China relationship.
WikiLeaks is now advising Snowden. Its founder, who has sought asylum in Ecuador's London embassy, spoke out today.
Edward Snowden is not a traitor. He is not a spy. He is a whistleblower who has told the public an important truth.
Ecuador agrees and says it's now considering asylum for Snowden, too. There's a lot of posturing and moralizing going on, Amanda, but Snowden's reality is pretty clear. Ecuador is a long way from Moscow, and American power should not be underestimated.
All right. Thanks, Neil.